in my view, lifestyle is the foundation. You have to always start with lifestyle, because that's just not, eat less and exercise. That's not going to work. You have to really do this in a way that's similar to a prescription. So you're giving patients adequate support, even a nutrition consult if available, or dietitian, to make sure not only they're going to eat right. Well, what is eating right? Eating right is not just cutting calories, but also avoiding ultra-processed food, eating a diet that's similar to a Mediterranean diet. Now, that doesn't, Mediterranean diet doesn't mean much, except to say that, these are basically diets that have high fruits, high, sort of vegetables, protein sources are from good sources, and you have to avoid ultra-processed food and alcohol. So alcohol consumption, even in moderation, could be bad in this disease. And especially, we have the tendency sometimes to not drink and then go on a weekend and drink, 6 or 7 beers or a glass of wine, and that's called binge drinking if you do it in a very short period of time. And that can be bad in the situation. So I think it's important to give that lifestyle advice. Smoking should be stopped, and all of these things for people to have better life choices in terms of both diet, but also increasing their activity. Not only just, activity that will improve cardiovascular health, but also muscle. The muscle is very important in this disease, so that resistance sort of exercise, those things should be applied. And then on the top of that, patient then should get treatment and medication. The 2 drugs that are available in the United States are approved for this. One is resmetirom, which is a THR beta agonist. It's a pill. And the other one is, of course, semaglutide, which is a GLP-1 receptor agonist, specifically approved for treatment of what we call non-cirrhotic, but MASH with some degree of scarring of the liver. I think that's sort of certainly an exciting sort of approach. Hepatic steatosis, or fat, is sort of a surrogate of underlying metabolic abnormality. So people that have hepatic fat, they can have not only MASH, they can progress. Of course, if they have MASH, they also can have other cardiometabolic diseases, including cardiac. Sometimes even you have fat in the liver, that tells you that you also are at risk for cardiovascular disease. Now, these patients also can be fatigued. Fatigue is, as I mentioned, is very common in this situation. This specific product has been shown not only to improve liver fat or hepatic steatosis, and a pretty nice study from Europe, but also improve quality of life and specifically fatigue. So there may be some great opportunity for us to at least address sort of the symptom of this disease, what is actually an objective symptom like having fat in the liver, or a subjective symptom like having, feeling of fatigue. I think we have not paid a lot of attention to how patients feel. But at the end of the day, it's really, when you look at the outcome of any disease, you're looking at really 3 major outcomes. Clinical outcome, which is, for ultimately, that's a hard outcome, like, and in this case would be cirrhosis and liver death, I think would be the ultimate outcome. The second type of outcome is how patients feel and experience, and that's really measured by patient-reported outcome and quality of life, and fatigue being the most important patient-reported outcome in patient with fatty liver disease. And third is economic outcome. You want to make sure that what you provide is going to help the patient, is going to help the society at the end. It looks like we do have good drugs, not perfect drugs for treatment of MASH, but pretty good drugs. And we're going to have better drugs in the near future. I think there is some indication that some of these data may even help with quality of life, even with the supplement we just talked about. These are all optimistic sort of perspective about future. But when you look at what a drug works or an intervention works, it's absolutely important to not only look at clinical outcomes, but also patient-reported outcomes.